Anyway, welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. We are 3 deep on Field Freak Friday.
It's not Friday.
They don't know that.
Oh, that's true.
Now they do.
Shit.
Cut.
Cut that.
Start over.
Cut that.
Alec Gogs and TJ all here.
I feel like this is going to be a very short episode.
Incredible. I didn't watch it this week. And this movie's almost impenetrable.
Saturday is my movie watching night, and we are recording on Saturday.
I can ask TJ some questions.
Oh, yeah, I would love that, actually.
I literally didn't watch anything.
Well, hold on. We didn't get through our intro yet. What did we watch this week?
We watched Field Freak.
And why did we watch Field Freak?
We watched Field Freak for Alec's birthday pick.
That's right.
Happy birthday, Alec.
One more trip around the sun for old Alec.
Did it.
Between this or Saving Private Ryan.
Wow.
Two thematically very different
Both have scenes that take place in the field, though.
Two masterpieces.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to hear these TJ questions.
Yeah. So I didn't watch anything.
I didn't
watch
anything.
I
watched more Euphoria. Oh, I do have one minor thing to say about Euphoria. So I love the show. So I'm in a bunch of like you are. I'm in a bunch of like groups talking about the show. People are like the special episodes, and I'm like, what the fuck? I watched through HBO. I watched season 1 all the way through, and then when season 1 was over, it's like you want to start episode 1, season 2. So come to find out, there was 2 episodes between season 1 and 2 that they aired because I guess it was a COVID thing. Mm-hmm. They didn't I guess season 2 actually started a lot later than they expected. But you would think HBO would just put that in order of the show. No, they made them, the 2 special episodes are like their own pages on HBO Max.
That's weird.
It's fucking.
Are they longer format or something?
No, they're just like the normal show.
That's dumb.
And it was like, that's fucking stupid. I mean, I watched those 2 episodes today, and they're both very good episodes. But like,
it would have been nice to watch them in order.
Well, it's kind of annoying, right? Because I mean, not that you guys don't watch the show, but like, there is like a significant. There's
callbacks to the.
Well, no, it is in order. Like they are in like. The things that happen in specifically, they're about the 2 main characters, or 2 of the characters, Rue and Jules. And the Jules episode definitely informs a lot of shit that happens in the beginning of season 2 that I was like complaining about because I'm like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But if I watch that fucking episode, I've been like, oh.
I was about to ask you if you picked up on the fact that there's a change between season 1 and season 2 that seemed like either bad writing or something.
Oh, yeah, no, there's definitely like, again, it's hard to talk about without, talking deep about the plots of the show. But like, there's definitely stuff that happens like right away in season 2, and I'm like, that's kind of jarring. But no, it makes total sense if I just watch the fucking episode. Mm-hmm. But why wouldn't they put it in sequential order?
Yeah, like, not a lot of American shows that do specials.
Yeah, well,
special episodes.
I think the only reason they did it is because of the pandemic. And I don't know this for a fact, but like both episodes are kind of bottle episodes where they're more or less just like monologues between like 2 characters in both episodes. So like I can see they kind of shot that like with like no crew almost and like basically like no sets.
Yeah.
That show's excellent. I fucking love it. And I'm going to be real like it's renewed for season 3. I think I said this last week, but I'm bummed out. Like when you binge a show and then it's like still ongoing, like, fuck, I gotta wait to like. Yeah. But it's a great show. I highly recommend it. I love it to death. So let's get on with these questions.
All right, TJ,
that's me.
Stambaugh.
It's a lot more. Oh, you're not supposed to get my whole. Now you're gonna get me doxxed.
Oh,
you can bleep it out.
I'll bleep it out.
Sure.
I do all the editing.
Say his last name again.
No, God's edit it.
It's fine. I don't really care. It's not like it's hard to find out.
Yeah. TJ Poop Butt.
That's right. You weren't supposed to say my last name. Of the Poop Butt dynasty.
Yeah, of the East Coast Poop Butts.
In a format similar to Famously Buried With, but legally distinct. What is the first movie you can remember watching?
God. Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
On Betamax.
Wow.
Yep. Return of the Jedi. And we had all of the
pretty good one for your first movie.
Yeah, we had all the Betamax. We had all the Star Wars movies on Betamax, and I just remember. I guess it Return came out in '83, so I was 2 years old when that came out. So
in theaters, so on Betamax probably didn't come out till like 4 or 5.
Yeah, but I do remember watching it, and I loved it. And it's probably why, like, I mean, we've talked about this 1,000 times, but it's probably why, like, Return of the Jedi has, like, its own problems, but I can't look at it objectively. Like, I love that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, Return of the Jedi, great movie.
Good answer. It's a pretty good movie to start off with.
And apparently, if you ask my grandmother or my mom, apparently I used to fucking, like, fast forward, like, A New Hope to the trench scene. I love the trench scene in the new
At the end?
Yeah.
Trench scene's great.
It's like my favorite part of the movie. And I can understand why, because that whole, like, final, like dog fighting sequence is fantastic.
That's excellent.
So still resonates with me today.
The trench scene in
if I had I know it came much later in my childhood, but a movie that's like on that level for me where I remember like vividly watching it over and over and over again when I was still very young would be Top Gun. I watched Top Gun 1,000 fucking times. Because I like just dogfighting was like the most fascinating thing to me.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But I watched Top Gun like I can't even tell you, like 1,000 fucking times. I love that, and I don't even remember. Like, you know how we talk about how like we watch some of these new movies that we remember fondly, and then we watch like the actual movie now with our 40-year-old eyes, and we're like, oh, this part kind of drags. I don't remember any of that shit. I just remember the fucking fighting and fucking flying and the guy spilling his coffee and all that shit.
You don't remember all the gay?
No, no. Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do.
Love a shirtless volleyball.
Wow, who doesn't?
TJ Poopfoot.
That's right.
What is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
That's a good one. The Exorcist.
You love horror movies.
It's my favorite.
And you're not easily scared by movies.
I don't think any movie is scary. I'd say The Exorcist is scary. Like, I feel like it's unnerving, but I still really find it scary. I don't know. I don't think any horror movie is scary.
Even when you were younger, nothing ever just kept you up?
Well, no, not really. I was told, again, we're doing a lot of like kid TJ shit. Like, I was told when I was younger, I really wanted to watch the Thriller music video, and it scared me, and I made my mom turn it off, which just goes to show you, like, young childhood TJ was properly terrified of Michael Jackson, where the rest of the world was way behind me.
It's your head of the curve.
But I would say The Exorcist is the only movie that I find like kind of like unnerving to the point where it's like kind of weird to me. Like, I remember when I saw it in the theater, I was like in my late teens when they did like that remaster version where they like added the crab walk, and I forget do you remember what they called that? It was like The Exorcist Revisited or something like that. Yeah. Like, there are scenes in that movie that are genuinely like stick in my head. Like that little glimpse of Captain Howdy you get, or it's just like that face for like half a second. That shit fucking stuck with me. Like it is very. Like, that is a very scary thing. Like, I don't know. I would give it to The Exorcist. But yeah, again, I also hate when people say, like, you know, about a horror movie, like, well, it's not scary. I'm like, well, nothing's fucking. Like, the scariest thing is real life. The scariest thing is having to pay your fucking rent. You know,
the scariest movie is Jaws.
Jaws is scary. I mean,
sharks are real.
They're out there and they want to eat you.
I don't know, man.
They want your bones.
Life is fucking scary to me.
I mean, yeah.
The capitalist nightmare we live in every day is scary to me. In fact, every universal healthcare is scary to me.
Yeah, and that is
like, I'm not even joking. I mean, it's not the right word. Just depressing is the
a boring dystopia.
Yeah,
they say on Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually got to the like cyberpunk future of like a William Gibson novel, but it's just fucking boring and stupid. Like, it really is. Like, go read like Neuromancer. There's so much of that shit that he talks about that like literally is just shit we do now, and it's just like, oh, that sucks. I thought it'd be a lot cooler.
TJ, what movie made you cry most?
God. You know, just, you know, I try to go off like first reaction stuff. Probably The Fountain. I mean, it's documented on the show. Like, I had a hard time even talking about it. It's just a movie that deals, with a lot of the stuff I dealt with in life. It resonated a lot with my like lived experience, and even on the show, like you can listen to it, I crack, and I think like it's just I don't know, it's a movie. I don't know if it's like if I cried the most, but it's definitely something that like I had a hard time watching. Like I liked the movie, and then like life happens, and then you kind of watch things through a different prism. You know what I mean? You watch it through your own lens of experience, and then things hit you in different ways. You know what I mean? Like I use that joke all the time when fucking Interstellar came out, and like there's people on Twitter that was like, well, you don't understand it because you don't have any kids, and I always thought that was fucking stupid. But I kind of understand. Like
I don't understand that movie, and
I still think it's misguided. I think like critique, like saying that people, you need to have certain experiences to stand through the thing. I don't agree with that, but I do agree with the fact that like your perspective changes as life, as you experience things in life, your perspective changes on art. And that's a movie that like definitely like hits me. Like any kind of thing that's in like that similar vein of like losing someone and like trying like hell to stop it, it's gonna be hard for me to watch. So yeah, I'd say The Fountain is up there. And I still really love that movie. I think it's beautiful. But yeah, I had a very hard time watching that movie on the show and then talking about it. Again, you can go back and listen to it. Like I had to like break, like I had to stop talking because I didn't want to fucking start crying on the show.
And that was a movie we watched on the show because God said it was the worst thing.
Yeah. Which is just it's funny too because like it's like you poor sweet child. If you'd only seen what Darren Aronofsky would put out after that.
I changed my opinion on the movie.
I know you did, but like, have you ever seen Mother? That might be my birthday pick this year because it's so bad. I'd love to talk about it. I hate it so much. Again, any great questions. Whoever on the internet is generating these questions, they're wonderful questions.
Yeah, we'll go through a couple more and then get into Field Freak.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot of in-depth discussion.
No, Field Freak's gonna be pretty
A to B.
It's pretty great.
What film means the most to you?
Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Oh,
I love that movie so much. And I think like the runner-up is Eraserhead, right? Like those two movies, Tetsuo and Eraserhead. But like Tetsuo the Iron Man to me, like informed kind of like my like it like opened my mind to like everything, right? Like I saw that movie and like I got into Japanese cinema. I got into like art house cinema because I saw Tetsuo before I saw Eraserhead. And it's so creative and it's so different, and like it was done on like no money, and it's an hour long, and it's just what I mean, it's a movie that I've watched a million times, and it did so much for me. Like it really it was like a watershed moment in like my kind of discovery of like what I like in movies. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain. But I love Tetsuo the Iron Man. I love Shinya Tsukamoto. Like to me, he's like, again, it's like him and David Lynch for me are like my two favorite filmmakers. And like Eraserhead's right there too. But like I'd say that Tetsuo ekes it out just a little bit more because it's a little bit more rough around the edges, and it's a little weirder, and it's like it's just I don't know. It's just such a labor of love from Tsukamoto. And then like having read a lot more about it after seeing it, like. He almost didn't even finish making the fucking movie. Like he had to win this fucking film competition to like film the second half of the movie.
Wow.
Like he fucking like he shot like there's an apartment scene in that movie. That's like his apartment. He got evicted because he fucking ruined the entire apartment. Because like there's shit everywhere, and that like he just fucking demolished that whole apartment. He got evicted. Basically the actors in the movie, which include him and two of his friends, they're also basically the camera operators, like, and half the special effects teams. Like, it's just kind of crazy to me that like somebody could make a movie like that with like so many things against him, and like I don't know, I just think it's incredible. Like I love that movie so much, and you know, as we've talked about on the show a million times, like I kind of I cherish like individuality and uniqueness more than like anything, and like yeah, like while like Tetsuo isn't, you know, it's not Tenet or something that's like, you know, got a lot of moving parts and it's like this giant epic film. Like the fact that like you did all this shit basically on your own without really much knowledge of how to do it, like I think that's amazing.
I have a fun memory of that movie because I remember how excited you were to show me that movie.
Yeah.
During the period of the re-education of gods,
Yeah.
where like once a week I would come over to your house, we'd have dinner, and then you'd show me some movie I'd never seen before.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Like
it's cool.
It's even if you like don't like, even if I don't expect people to relate to it on the levels that I do, but like it's not a movie that's like boring.
No,
it's fucking insane.
And the fact that the story behind it that you've told me is just like you just said, is bonkers.
And it's an hour long.
Yeah.
Like it's an hour long.
Better.
Like that's why I always say I'm gonna pick it 1 week for the show because it's so fast. And I love his other movies too. Like Tokyo Fist is an amazing movie that he made, but like I think Tetsuo will always have a special place in my heart.
Okay,
it's a good question. Great question.
What movie made you laugh the most?
That's a tough one.
That might be like one of the toughest ones on here.
Very hard
because so many movies I've cracked up at, like from beginning to end.
That is very difficult. It's a toss up. It really is a toss up to me between Spinal Tap and Walk Hard. I'm going to give it Walk Hard.
Wow.
Because I have watched Walk Hard probably 6 times, and I have never not laughed the entire movie, including the first time I saw it, which I'm pretty sure was with both of you.
Definitely me. I'm not sure if God was there. It was definitely the two of us.
We were dying.
Like,
and the theater was dead.
Yeah.
We could not stop laughing through the entire movie. Like, I find that movie so fucking funny. And, like, I've watched it a bunch, and it's like watching the old Simpsons. Like, it always lands. Like, the jokes in that movie are so good. And, like, they never stop. Like, there's nothing. Like, it's all jokes.
It's like a machine gun.
It's all jokes the whole fucking movie. And I love it. And Spinal Tap 2 is another one that's just, like, it's just classic. I've watched that a billion times, and it's fun. It's just as funny the first time as it is, you know, the 30th time. But that's a very hard question to answer.
Talk about that.
Yeah, okay. Pipes creaking.
Yeah.
What is the worst movie of all time?
I mean, I just that's like just with the shit that we've watched. I mean, you know, I want to say Southland Tales, but like, how can I say Southland Tales when fucking Cosmic Sin exists? You know what I mean? Like, as much as I hated Southland Tales, at least there's passion behind it. You know what I mean? Like, it's misguided passion, but like Cosmic Sin was literally just made by like a guy that's like, I don't know, let's make a fucking movie. We got Bruce Willis.
Tax Shelter.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I guess Cosmic Sin, or like one of the other, they have a name. There was an article. I only know this because of Red Letter Media, but there's an article about these movies, these red box movies, and they're called geezer teasers. And it reminded me of Gogs because the guy that's like the main producer on these movies I'm having a hard time trying to get this back. But so you remember the show Entourage?
Yes.
You remember Turtle?
Yes.
That was the character that you were most associated with often.
Yes.
The guy that's based on a real life guy.
Okay.
And that guy is the guy that produces a lot of these fucking Bruce Willis, Steven Seagal, like Liam Neeson red box movies.
He's getting paid.
Yeah. He's making probably bang.
Getting paid.
But like, yeah, how can I pick? I mean, I've watched so many awful movies, but like even the worst. Like, I'm trying to think of like movies I've hated recently, like that Matrix sequel I fucking hated. But like, you know what? At least like somebody was trying to do something. Like Cosmic Sin was trying to do nothing. It was trying to literally just like punch out. It's like 4:55 the movie. Like you're just sitting around waiting. So like, all right, it's time to go. Cook chunk. Let's get out of here. You know what I mean? Like I can't
I mean,
still
the worst movies are the ones that don't try.
Yeah, and
like,
I mean, I still hate Southland Tales. I stand by that opinion.
Like,
it is awful.
Land Shark,
Right?
tried.
Yeah.
Tried.
It's
Shark
awful.
Exorcist tried.
Like those guys.
I don't know what they were
like,
trying.
Well, Shark Exorcist. That might be the best example of tax shelter. That movie cost like $5 million or something.
What was it?
Like,
what did they
it was
spend
about
it on?
the same quality as Land Shark.
What did they spend?
Like,
Remember
this dude literally he dumped $5 million started making a movie, laundered all his money, spent like $50,000 on the movie.
Yeah.
If that.
Remember the movie ended, and then there was that weird like post-credit scene.
Like coda. It just kept going of just like a guy who may have been possessed by a shark staring at a woman.
No, it was a girl
sunbathing.
No. After the credits, remember, it's just a girl at like a aqua themed restaurant staring at a fish tank. Remember that?
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Oh.
I remember the part where the girl's like sunbathing.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie.
Cloudy. She's just like on a grassy park and just lays down and starts sunbathing. Anyway,
these are good questions.
So, objectively,
this is good.
Objectively, what is the best movie of all time?
Jaws.
Good answer.
That's the right answer.
Like,
yeah, Jaws.
You're right.
I mean, the thing is, like, right, like it's what did Sean uses this a lot? 4 quadrant, right? It's a crowd pleaser. It's competently made, competently acted. It is artistically made. Like, there is artistic value in how Jaws is shot, the choices that Spielberg makes to direct it. It's a perfect movie. Like, it's one of the greatest American movies ever made. Like, I love Jaws like to death. And I mean, like, the performances are off the chart. You know, Quint is maybe the best character in fiction. Like, I love that character like so much. It's just a perfect movie. I mean, you know, Citizen Kane is like the obvious choice, but like I still think I would say that you could sit down like most people in front of Jaws and they would be entertained. Whereas like Citizen Kane, while an amazing film, like it's still old, dated. Not that Jaws isn't old, but like, you know, I think that there's a bar 2 entry with like black and white cinema. And
I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't like Jaws.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jaws is perfect. Like, it's a perfect movie, and it's got everything. It's funny, it's scary, it's violent, it's, you know, it's touching. Like, the characters are actually well written. Like, it's got everything. It's great, and it also doesn't overstay its welcome. Like, it's not overlong, it's not short. It's perfect. It's just perfect. There's nothing. There's literally. It's one of those movies where when they eventually remake it, because you know they are. It's like, what are you doing? It's a perfect film. There's nothing to be improved upon.
Imagine this: we're gonna remake Jaws, but you can see the shark the whole time.
Yeah, I mean that's like all it's gonna be, right?
We'll give the shark a voiceover.
Yeah, but like Jaws,
the shark a conscience.
Yeah. Why am I doing this?
I mean that
just can't help it.
It's kind of a funny idea. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, those are all very good questions. Is that the last one?
Well, here I got
you got one more.
Well, I got a
listener
question for the group.
For the room.
Girls gotta get a pump on.
Who would use these? They're very small.
Vance.
Your
Just flex her up.
How
many times can you
just once?
How many cock push-ups can you do?
Well, just one.
Pick one movie that you can replace one actor in. What movie and who are you replacing?
One movie I can replace one actor.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I think. I don't know if it's gonna make it a good movie though. Fuck. My first thought was the Han Solo movie
with Harrison Ford,
and you replace what's his name with Baby Driver, the guy
it wouldn't make it.
Angel Elgort, but no.
You're replacing one guy with essentially the same guy.
Yeah, but I like him better.
But is he that good of an actor?
No, it's not going to fix. It's not going to fix
like
the
you're
movie.
Putting like Ryan Gosling in there. somebody who's like an insanely better actor.
No, that's not going to fix the movie, though.
My pick was taking Waterworld and replacing Kevin Costner with Chris Hemsworth.
It's not bad.
Oh, okay. I like your approach to it. Okay.
I want to replace Mel Gibson in Braveheart with Liam Neeson. So it's basically just Rob Roy.
I'm trying to think. There's a better, Chris Hemsworth answer.
Chris Hemsworth is fun.
That's what
How about Chris Hemsworth in anything?
How about we replace Mel Gibson in Road Warrior with Tom Hardy?
We're replacing Mel Gibson.
Hold on. How about replacing Mel Gibson and Mad Max with Tom Hardy?
Hold on. I have one for this though.
Okay.
I would take this is just a fan casting that I've always wanted. Replace Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight with Jude Law. Jude Law, because Jude Law in Road to Perdition is fucking creepy as shit. I always thought he'd be very good in the role. Like, you remember Jude Law on Road to Perdition?
Oh, I do.
Road to Perdition.
You're going to replace Oscar Award winner
He only got that.
Heath Ledger with Jude Law.
Yeah, I think he would be a great. I think he'd be a great Joker.
I mean, he would be a great Joker.
Maybe then. I don't know about now. What is Jude Law? Does he still do movies? I haven't seen him in.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Captain Marvel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was Marvel, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still does stuff.
I think I'm trying to correct movies, and I'm just having a hard time casting.
It's tough. It's
Right?
a tough one. That's a tough one.
I would see the Neil McDonough guy play Captain America, but Chris Evans is great.
Yeah, Chris
Neil
Evans is
McDonough
way
could've-
better than Neil McDonough.
I know.
Like
That was
everything.
my dream casting like 15 years ago, or I guess more than 15 years, 20 years ago.
I mean, you get Neil. You could probably hire him for a movie now. That guy was in that Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, God,
He'll do anything.
Jude Law hasn't. He's still doing stuff. He did. He was in that movie, The Rhythm Section.
Oh yeah, you said that was kind of boring.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The trailer looked good.
The trailer did look good, and it had that slow version of what was that song? Shit, I can't remember the name of the song now, but it was excellent.
I don't know if he'd be big enough to do it, but if you could have had Chadwick Boseman play Muhammad Ali, that would have been cool.
He would have been fine. Oh yeah, he would have been great in that.
I thought Will Smith was bad at it.
I don't know. I never watched that movie.
That movie's too long. Too long.
Wasn't it Michael Mann? Who directed that?
Was it Michael Mann?
Michael Mann.
I think you're right.
Ridley Scott.
Ali?
Yeah.
I think it was Michael Mann.
I mean, those guys, they were all pretty much the same.
Let's see.
So is that your?
Yeah, it was Michael Mann.
That's your answer, Chadwick Boseman and Ali?
Yeah, because I think he would have been great.
Yeah,
He's great in those
just
things.
Everything.
Yeah. He is just great.
Rest in peace.
I got one. I have a one that's fun.
Go ahead.
Toroshi Mifune, Toroshiro Mifune, Yojimbo fame, as Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope.
Oh,
because that's what Lucas wanted originally, and he wouldn't do it.
really?
Yeah, because that'd be super rad.
Oh well, then if we're doing that, then
He wanted to
Richard Dreyfuss is C-3PO.
Well, Lucas wanted Mifune, but Mifune was like, "This movie sounds terrible. Like, I'm not doing this shit." And he didn't want to go out in the desert, because apparently the production for A New Hope was a disaster.
Yeah, they're in Tunisia. They know what they were doing.
Yeah, you just named like a place that I never heard of.
Really?
Where's Tunisia?
North Africa, I believe.
Gross.
Yeah.
South Africa's where it's at.
I think, yeah.
Where Deer
Okay.
Antworth is.
Okay, Elon.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Now what are you looking at for, buddy?
Well, where Tunisia is. I'm just making sure. Yeah, it's on the
Alex
Mediterranean.
just told you where it
I'm
was.
just double checking.
You named a place you didn't even know where it was.
I name places I don't know where they are all the time.
Somehow.
The clitoris.
Yeah, that's true.
They exist.
Alex told you it was in North Africa.
No, God said North Africa.
No, you did.
Oh, did I?
Check the videotape.
Bam!
If only we had this recorded.
You're gonna add this later.
If I'm wrong in editing, I'm going to switch it.
Swap it. Oh.
Yeah, TJ.
Penis is tremendous.
Pipe down, guys.
Here.
I don't know why we all sound like Marge Simpson. We all sound specifically like Goggins' Marge Simpson.
Yeah, not just any Marge.
Here's a lemonade in here. It's a pretty good Marge Simpson, if you ask me.
My favorite person. I want Goggins to redub like episodes.
He could do it because she sounds awful now.
Oh.
These new seasons, her voice is done. It's awful. I feel bad for her. It sounds like she's in pain.
Does she have to like put on a voice, or is that her voice?
I think
that has to be put on, right?
I think she affects it.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
yeah. Because like Yardley Smith, that's just her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just sounds like Lisa Simpson all the time.
Yeah.
She was Herman's Head.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Big ups to Herman's Head.
So.
And then that Pixar movie ripped it off.
Field.
The one with the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Wreck-It Ralph.
No, Gogs knows what I'm talking about.
Say again?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Yeah.
There
that was just Herman's Head for babies,
children.
For
tweens.
Not
teens, tweens, and everything in between.
Tweens. Yeah, all right, Field Freak. What happened in Field Freak, guys?
Shoo. Wow.
Shoo!
God.
Tell me what happened in Field Freak.
So a family of
hobos,
ne'er-do-wells with a
ne'er-do-wells
with a struggling author, his hot to trot horny wife, and his dipshit son buy a house out. They buy a vacation home, which they later, based on their financial troubles, sounds like they're not going to be able to stay in very long.
Right.
Out in the hills of somewhere drivable from Chicago. And they move in, and the father makes a bunch of promises about spending time with his kid, which he never fulfills. But he does find big piles of shit, and his trash cans get knocked over. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, but we better go to town and spend some money. So they do. But the exterminator's coming back to kill the raccoons. So he's like, well, let's stop and get some root beer. And so they end up at a root beer shack where a guy is making a wash tub full of root beer. And you find out the story about the Field Freak.
Yeah, and
root
beer
chock full of roots.
Yeah, root beer literally was just brown water. I don't think they understand that root beer is carbonated.
But it's delicious, supposedly, because when he serves it to you out of his dipper cup in a mason jar, you'll love it.
And it's in like what do you call it?
It's a wash tub.
Yeah, it's a tub.
So
and he's just like stirring it. Like it's very odd. Like,
and he's
there's no like heat source or anything. It's just
yeah.
And he's got like a water scoop.
Yeah.
Like
it's some fine quality H2O.
I've never made root beer, but it's like regular beer.
It's
right?
brewed.
Yeah. That's why it's called beer. Right? Also, this is a not related to anything, but I got some ginger beer at Trader Joe's the other week, and I was like, that is delicious. I was like,
hot.
It's got kind of spiciness to it. I was like, they should they should have this more often. Like these places, and I was thinking to myself, why don't they sell this? And I was thinking to myself, well. Oh, ginger ale is just this. Ale and beer is the same
probably
thing.
Like 10 different kinds of ginger beer in our store.
Delicious.
Ginger ale is a little sweeter, a little watered down.
But like ale and beer, they're
just
synonyms.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it took me a minute to be like, oh wait, ale and beer are the same fucking thing, you idiot.
There we have it.
Yeah, that Trader Joe's ginger beer. Put a little whiskey in there.
Yeah, make yourself like a Kentucky Mule, baby.
Every ale is a beer, but not every beer is an ale.
That's correct.
What? Yeah. Explain yourself. Is this like
all ales?
Every square is in a rectangle kind of thing?
Yeah, all ales are
every
beers.
Square is a rectangle.
What?
Every rectangle is a square.
I didn't know this was math of the podcast.
Let's edit that later too.
Shapes, math.
So
shapes and beer. It's what we do.
So they. So anywho, back to this.
Shapes and beer.
Back to this wash tub of brown. It's being brewed up by a guy who's been transplanted to the outskirts of Chicago from, I don't know, the antebellum South. Like, I don't know. Like, so he's there explaining the story of the Field Freak, how the Field Freak killed his family.
You're right. His accent and like overall mannerisms don't really make any sense.
Yeah,
he's just
And he lost his leg below the knee, and he's telling you that the Field Freak's gonna rip your dick off.
Yeah. You know what? I'm a little disappointed in the movie that never paid off.
No one get the dick ripped off.
Yeah, he ripped the other guy's legs off, but not his
He
dick.
should have ripped his dick off.
Yeah. Well, you
we
don't
need
know.
more dicks for our field freak plane.
The dad in this movie
It's amazing.
is so
The greatest actor
like,
in American history.
golly gee, like he smiles at everything.
Super positive.
Everything anybody says to him is like the most interesting thing he's ever heard in his life. He's why dewy eyes? Just like
He's leaning in. He's 100% there.
oh my god, he's so funny.
He says "oh heck" a lot.
God dang it!
The kid's saying shit all the time. The kid getting the crap slapped out of him.
Dad stepped in shit. Whack! Mom slaps the shit out of
And then
him.
the root beer guy slapped the kid later for crying. Like the kid keeps getting slapped. Anyway, between just not writing the book and night humping, the family is being quietly.
You can't blow past the best scene in the movie.
So they hire an exterminator who says it's a beaver infestation, not a field freak.
Mhm.
For those of you who can't infer what a field freak is, it's a wood ape or Sasquatch. On the outskirts of Chicago.
On the outskirts of Chicago. And
the exterminator says it's beavers. For $900, I'll set a bunch of beaver traps and I'll get them. And he does, but he doesn't get the beavers. But who does get the beaver is the dad that night in bed with the mom when she's like, I got a beaver you can catch. And, catch it, he does.
And they kept their son up all night.
Yeah.
With their noises.
One of them legitimately.
It's
such a funny
something
line.
keep you up last night? Was it the field freak? Or was it the beavers? No, I just heard a lot of groaning, like spring squeaking.
It was on him moaning and make dad do a spit take with his coffee.
Yeah, a lot more moaning this time.
So now that the beaver situation hasn't worked out, nice. The beaverman says, okay, I've got we're dealing with a cave full of rabid beavers. I'm going to charge you $2,500. Meanwhile, the dad's like, I'm just going to go to town and buy a gun. I'm also going to invite the crazy old root beer man over for dinner. He'll stay here forever because our car doesn't work. And now we're into the third act where the wife is being assaulted in the pool. Well,
when you say assaulted, she's like in the pool, and the field freak just kind of like
tips her off her raft.
He like shimmies her a little bit, and like knocks her off her noodle.
Yeah, so she hires the beaver exterminator to come back, and then he goes out in the woods, literally whipping through the weeds with a bullwhip, despite the fact that he's got a machete on his belt.
Yeah, I've never in my life seen a man try to clear brush with a bullwhip until this movie.
And he's also 3 sheets to the wind, and he goes to the cave.
Yeah, he's taking big
tugs.
Big tugs off of his plants.
And then ostensibly the field freak knocks him out. And then the wife's had it up to here. So she and the son.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
The son wants to go on the computer to play a video game. He says, Dad's book is up. Mom, can you come close it so I don't delete or anything? She goes to close it. The screen says, Chapter 1. I don't know what to write. FML. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. He's been writing this book for 6 months and he got one sentence that is, I don't know what to write. Fuck my life.
Which led to a legit pop in this basement for several minutes.
So funny.
So she gets upset because of the field freakiness and everything else. She takes the boy and they start heading down the road to the car, which suddenly works until it remembers it doesn't. And then when it doesn't work, the field freak shows up and takes her for mating purposes. The boy makes it back to the house where the dad has been pounding an entire bottle of gin, but he sobers up pretty quick. And then the lady wakes up in the cave crevice with the beaver exterminator whose legs have been partially severed, if not completely severed from his knees.
Completely severed.
Yeah.
Like with almost no effort, the field freak
he just slid them away.
Grabbed his feet and you know how you do that? I can't even think of what I would do it for. But you do that quick yank to get a snap.
Like you're trying to get a tablecloth out from under silverware.
He does that to guy's ankles and severs his legs at the knee.
and then he beats the piss out of him.
Well, it's funny too because this movie like is made on like a budget of like $100. So like the only gore is stuff that'd be like stationary. Like when he rips off his legs, like there's like stumps that are kind of bloody
and like raspberry jam.
But like as like the field freak is like battering this guy, and then later on the husband, like there's no like scrapes or bruising or any kind of blood there. It's kind of hilarious.
So the wife escapes because the beaver exterminator has sacrificed himself. She makes it back to the house. They have a final standoff where the root beer vendor has duct taped a pump action shotgun to his right leg stump.
Yeah.
And then calls out the field freak who is beating up the dad in the front yard like it's like the 8th round of fucking Balboa Creed.
He's beating him in this hilarious way because this suit, the like field freak suit, is like really huge and like ridiculous. So the field freak is like double axe handling him and just kind of like swiping.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like the hands of the guy in the suit didn't go all the way into the hands.
Yeah. They couldn't actually.
So he's just like swinging like these limp hands around.
Yeah, the hands could.
You're like smacking him, kind of just like stop.
The hands, the fingers aren't like articulated, so they don't actually move. Yeah, it's.
So the dad gets up and away, and then the root beer fella leg blasts the field freak multiple times in the chest with a shotgun, and then everyone sort of has a big hugging thumbs up freeze frame moment, and then you cut to later where the dad has got through his writer's block because now he's got a best-selling book about the field freak.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the beaver exterminator and the root man have gone into some sort of disabled veteran root beer business.
Veterans of Field Freak Wars.
And and then the movie just ends with the weirdest, like them hobbling and wheeling away from the bookstore, like all happy as clams, and then scene. And that's Field Freak.
That's the movie.
And it was joyous.
Hilarious. It's about time we watch a bad movie that's actually fun to watch. Like this movie was a blast.
They had fun doing it, and things were done semi-competently.
Yeah. Yeah, there's music in the movie. There's actual framing in the movie.
It's well lit.
Yeah. You can hear everything.
Yeah. It's funny. I legit laughed at a lot of it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like we watched so much like low budget trash that's like impossible to watch that it was like super refreshing to watch low budget trash that was like fun as hell.
Yeah,
actually made like pretty well. You know,
and
everything about this movie is good except the acting.
Yeah.
And even the acting is like fun. Like I think
the budget I said was like $9,000 or something.
That like dad is hilarious. Like that fucking dad is the best.
And all of the actors have names that sound like something from a Tim and Eric sketch. Like all the actors' names are just.
Wait, like Steve Bear, and Linda Bear is the wife, like Bear.
Yeah. So
it's Lonnie, Steve, and Linda, the Bear family.
Mm-hmm. The three bears in the woods.
Oh, I just got that. They keep saying there are no bears in these parts, but they are the bears.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's like one of those stupid jokes that, like,
yeah,
like these are the actors' names. There's Dave Juring, Trenna Penson, Tristan Coppola, Glenn Harston, Thomas Eli Sage.
Tristan Coppola was Lonnie.
That was a little kid.
The Field Freak was played by Rick James.
Yeah.
This guy's name.
I see James.
The gun shop owner's name is Jim Nichechki. That looks Eastern European. Like
sure. Like, and then the guy, Alex said this while we were watching this, but the guy in the gun store, the guy that like had his like own 6-shooter on his hip, was the director.
Not on his hip, in his literally tucked into the front pocket.
Just like, but with the handle facing away from him.
Yeah, so he does a cross draw. You see. But no, that's this movie was something else.
Tristan Coppola. This is his only credit.
No,
never the hell you say.
It's funny for Coppola.
Did Stephen Folker ever make anything else?
Oh, let's see.
That's a good question.
Please tell me he did.
Oh, looks like it.
Several things.
He's directed 12 things.
He directed 1917.
He directed Field Freak,
Cosmic Sin,
The Orange Man,
Anthony's biopic.
From Uranus.
For real?
Yeah. The Orange Man. In 1987, a disillusioned door-to-door orange salesman horrifically murders his first victim. Moving forward 27 years, and a land developer is buying an orange grove. He and his 3 friends plan a fishing trip to get his head around this pending transaction. Unbeknownst to them, his estranged wife and her new boyfriend have also chosen the same location for a break. The usual strange noises and unnerving situations ensue when they congregate in a secluded cabin as the Orange Man eliminates them one by one with the aid of his prosthetic hook and a bag of oranges.
That sounds amazing. Also, I forgot to mention this, but this movie is like the only way we were able to watch this movie was through Plex, and not through the usual side that we use Plex, where it's like my server. This was like Plex offers TV shows and like free streaming films, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
It's not available anywhere else.
No.
It's crazy.
Not even on Tubi.
Maybe if you go to Stephen Falker's house, he can lend you the DVD.
Nope, he doesn't even have it.
Yeah.
No. He lost the original pressing.
Anything else you want to say about Field Freak before we get into Five Knuckle Shuffles?
Man, the Field Freak looks ridiculous.
Oh, and we didn't really say it, but like when the final showdown between the root beer guy and the Field Freak, it's fucking hilarious because you think they're gonna have this like epic battle, and then he just gets shot like 4 times and dies.
Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
There's no fight, no nothing, just blam.
The fucking the root beer guy like pokes him, and the Field Freak like moans. It's like, well, he's not dead yet. He's like, yeah.
But they all seem very happy about it
Yeah.
still. Like, okay, well, fair enough.
Also, I like the idea that Field Freak is like conservatively like 80 years old.
Yeah, because it was 40, 50 years
Yeah.
between murders.
I mean, animals don't live that long. Like,
I don't know. Field Freak has no natural predator.
Maybe Field Freak does, yeah. Anything else, guys?
No, I'm just looking at Stephen Folker's Instagram.
I'd love to see that.
It's just him dressed as a Field Freak.
Yeah, just him, just freaking it up.
Where's he from? Chicago?
He doesn't say. Cinematographer TV show Killer Cases, seen on A&E and Hulu. Writer and director of micro-budget zany films.
I mean, this was a zany film.
Spot on.
All right. Five Knuckle time. Shuffle time. Alec, birthday boy.
This is like a 9.
Yeah.
It's it's fun, and it's like I know, like it's a bad movie, but it's the best kind of bad movie.
Agreed.
It's like the kind of bad movie you just put on and let it go, and wherever it takes you, it takes you. And this one's a fucking blast. Like this lead actor is so like earnest.
Yeah.
And with like everything.
Yep.
There's a scene where he's in the gun shop. I can't remember what they're talking about, but they lean so close together that their noses are like a piece of paper wood apart, and they're just staring at each other. I can't remember what the conversation is about at that point. Was it just about the house or something?
What are you trying to finish up against? Bears? No, bears up there. Feel free.
What? Oh,
it's like right, he's almost there to kiss him. Like,
well, we forgot. Earlier in that scene, he asked the gun guy asked him a question like, "Oh, you guys are new in town."
He
doesn't respond to it at all. It's so fucking weird. It's like it's something they should have cut. He's like, "You guys are new in town, right?" And it's just.
No, they're like, that's very realistic. Because shit like that happens at the register all the time.
I mean, that is
you
true.
Try to talk to the customer because they're paid to do that, and they just ignore you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Maybe it is. That's what they were going.
This guy's really jaded by retail. He's like, I'm gonna stick it to the guy.
They were going
stick it to the customers and put that in there.
They were going for a little bit of verisimilitude.
Oh man, this movie's like it's so funny and so ridiculous for like I don't know what this guy's vision is. I haven't seen any of his other movies, but like. He had a plan and he went with it. It is something else.
I agree.
And like everybody is really funny because of their lack of acting ability.
Yeah.
Like, but they're all trying. Nobody in this movie's not trying. Nobody's here for a paycheck.
No,
because there isn't a paycheck.
They're probably they get paid in root beer.
Yeah.
that water, the brown water.
Yeah, this movie's a fucking blast. Like, I recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is a party movie. It's great.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 9. Like, it's just like it's for like the fact that it's done for that budget and it's this much fun, and you think I'm not mad at it. I had a great time with it. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch with friends. It's silly, but it's not silly. You mock it, but it's almost mocking itself. Like I think it gets that it's a silly movie.
Certainly gets that it's a silly movie.
But it's not poorly made. It's actually kind of well made for like this is better than most low, but it's better than Cosmic Sin.
It's better than every low budget movie that we've watched. Like all the like schlock, like again, Shark Exorcist.
Like this is what you hope for
Land
when you
Shark.
find these random movies like on Amazon or whatever. You're like, oh, this looks terrible.
Yeah.
This is like the high water mark.
Yeah.
Like I think a few weeks ago I talked about Lamageddon.
Yeah.
And that's like in the same vein. It's like you're just the only reason you watch this movie is hoping that
it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be ridiculous. And it is.
And the funny parts are legit funny. Like they the comedy is about like subverting expectations and hitting you with shit you don't expect. And like the dad being all upbeat and perky and the kid swearing all the time. The kid getting this shit slapped out of him.
Yeah.
Like the movie's funny. It's fun to watch. It's worth the watch. I kind of want to see if I want to know if this is one for this guy. All of his movies are this competent and funny. So yeah, TJ.
It's also going to be a 9 for me, dog. This movie's a blast. I had a ton of fun watching this movie. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's fast. Like if we didn't have to watch this on Plex with commercials, it would have been done in no time.
Oh yeah, the new Wagoneer commercial. We need my ass.
But it's great. It's a lot of fun. It is, it is a good bad movie. It is a lot.
Editor's note: for some reason, Gogs decided to close the tab that the recording was in, so that's why there's a little bit of a weirdness here. Bye-bye.
Just put in the Jeep Wagoneer commercial, and then we're good.
I don't know how. Like, for some reason, Gogs decided to start closing all his windows. I don't know why you just leave it alone.
I panicked.
Are you looking on the internet for something?
I was, but
you can look on your goddamn phone.
Oh yeah. Continue.
I don't know what got recorded. Anyway, it's fun. I like this movie. It's great. What's next week? I got a pick for next week. Field Freak, great movie. Watch it on Plex.
Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year's next week. I have a pick.
Go.
Who hasn't gone?
I haven't gone,
and I haven't.
You haven't gone, and I don't have a pick. So go ahead.
My pick is Hard Boiled.
Good movie.
Chow Yun-Fat and John Woo's Hard Boiled.
Good film.
Have you seen Hard Boiled?
No.
It is So I was between a bunch of different movies. I was between The Killer, another John Woo Chow Yun-Fat movie. I was between City on Fire, which is another Chow Yun-Fat movie, but it is it is what basically Reservoir Dogs is based off of.
Mm.
And there was another one, but those two movies aren't as action packed. And I was like, it might not get over as much. But like Hard Boiled is like starts with like this 15-minute gunfight, and it just keeps on going. And then there's a gunfight in an obstetrics ward. And like Chow Yun-Fat is holding a baby and shooting people with a shotgun. It's fucking amazing. I love that movie. I can't wait for everybody to watch it.
Hard Boiled.
Hard Boiled is a ton of fun. I used to have the best shirt. Do you remember that shirt I used to have? Yeah, it was the poster. Chow Yun-Fat in a tactical SWAT vest with a shotgun and a baby.
It's this one.
Yeah, I used to have a T-shirt with that on it. But yeah, so next week, Hard Boiled. Alec, thank you for Field Freak. What a treat to watch. Gogs, thank you for making me stitch this together, and it's going to be weird as shit.
You can do great. I believe in you.
So anyway, that's the show. Eat your own ass, and